out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game. 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a new river thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as the valley. Breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark.
Good morning, everybody. That team right there will play for a national championship. The Miami Hurricanes last night get a touchdown late and defeat Ole Miss. How about that? The ACC in the national championship game, but wait a minute. We were told the ACC is not worthy of playing on the national stage. Got a lot going on today. We will break down last night's game, look ahead to tonight with the coach, Phil Elmassian. Mike Ashley is on the road today, but he still will provide the open mic. That will come our way. Open mic from the open road. Let's hope he's sober. Actually, let's hope he's not sober. And then Jen the Gamecock Girl. And today is the day that if she decides not to play her saxophone, I want everybody just to unleash. She deserves it. How's everybody doing? Today is the day that I will travel and take my son back to Wise. It's been great having him here for 3 weeks as he gets ready to start semester number 2. By the way, can I brag for just a second? All A's and within 1.5 points of having straight A's his first semester in college. How about that? Yep. I'm going to brag a little bit. I think he got an 88.5 in the class he did not make an A. So there you go. Good morning to everybody. Thanks to all of our great sponsors. Finally, Friday edition, heading into the weekend. From the Great Smoky Mountains to the I-95 exit in Palm Coast, beautiful spewing fountain. BDST is live and online. Good morning, Morris, TLB, Stephen, and everybody else. We'll get your thoughts on the game last night. Miami, it was a good football game. And the Canes in those all-white uniforms just keep plugging along. I think they've worn them every round, haven't they? Don't change now. The last Super Bowl the Broncos won, Super Bowl 50, they were actually the home team. And, obviously that usually denotes wearing your dark jersey. But they'd had so much success in the white jerseys in the playoffs that they kept wearing their white, and they wore their white against the 49ers in that Super Bowl. There you go. Little known trivia fact. So let's just go ahead and laugh, right? Because the SEC, which had to have 5 teams in the playoff, for the 3rd straight year will have that many playing for a national championship. And all we heard from SEC pundits, even the insufferable Kirk Herbstreit, was, hey, it's great those G5 teams had a chance, but boy, how great would it have been if we'd have had more SEC teams involved? Those games just weren't competitive. Well, hey, SEC, you had half the field almost. You had 5 teams. 5. You got none in the finals. Again. Come on. So, hey, head-to-head, right? You're talking about results of games. You can't blow it out of one side, dissing all the G5 teams, and then sit there and try to act like it doesn't come back your way when you blow 5 opportunities. And I know you played head-to-head in a couple of games. I get it. But, hell, when you have half the field, you're going to. So it's going to be the ACC versus the Big Ten, one way or the other, for the national championship. They deserve everything they get. ESPN deserves all the criticism they get. Herbstreit, Fowler, all those bozos, they can just sit there now and, hey, the results tell us what we need to know, right, guys? You can't. Moore says his bet is still alive, plus 500 for the Canes. Ooh. If to beat the Hughes, hey, more sponsorship money, Morris. Yeah, go Canes. Yeah. Hey, what's up, K-State Rob? I don't hear from you enough. Boogie and I are traveling to Bluntville, Tennessee this Saturday to put on a pro wrestling seminar. Sweet. Tell Boogie I said hello and I miss him, and I wish we could figure out a way to get him on here. Good to hear from you, man. You guys be safe. Boogie is a terrific dude. Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant. Hopefully we can do something in the future. Speaking of sponsors, please help. Prometheus, what's up? Bringer of fire. You fire hoarder, you. Game went just like I thought. More points, though. Yeah, I'm there with you, too. I think I had Miami winning 27-20 when I put up the thing on Facebook. So, yeah, a few more points, too. Hey, Opal, how are you, First Lady of Chat? Good to see you. Wayne, the Cleveland Browns fan. Oh. Oh, that's right. So, Wayne, we had 3 mega powers in the same space. We had Wayne, Boogie, and K-State Rob. I believe that was over at, was that Hez's camp? Where were you guys? Where were you? Wait a minute. Why were you guys hanging out? Nobody called me. Really? Don't understand that. You guys just hanging out. I'm sure I came up at some point. Oh, is it Valley? Okay. I was making sure y'all didn't have a little get together. Hey, guys, let's keep this on the down low and not invite Rick. I know you are, Rick. We'll get him on. TLB says you could hire the best tailor in the world, buy the best fabric on the planet, but Herbstreit would still look uncomfortable in his suit. As the inane blabbering is just, oof. Yeah. Mike McDaniel gets fired. I don't know what took so long. The guy's just not a head coach. He might be a coordinator somewhere. You know what? Prometheus, I would think the Dolphins would have a chance at John Harbaugh. There may have been some behind-the-scenes information gathering, which is why they finally pulled the trigger. Morris says Wayne must take the Browns to the Super Bowl. It's that time of nothing. Sorry, Wayne. Had to get that one in. Time of morning. He loves his Browns. You know, they fired Kevin Stefanski. What was he, just 4 under 500 with the Browns, given their just god-awful, well, everything? Do you know the Browns lost 3 times in the AFC championship game to the Broncos? I think it was 3 times in 4 years. Yeah. So tonight, Indiana and Oregon. So, you know, we had our attorney, Ryan Pry, fan question of the week, and, you know, we said who's going to win the semifinals, and about 98% of you said Miami and Indiana, and here we are. We're back on. You're halfway there. I think Harbaugh is going to end up with the Dolphins. I don't know what it is. All right, let's just say this. He's a little older. I think I saw he's 63. Still got a lot of coaching left. But when you get to that age and you have all that money and you've been in the Northeast where it's cold and traffic is hell and the people are usually rude, wouldn't you want to go? Sometimes you got to go where everybody stays warm. Go to the warm climate, hang out with Morris in the Palm Coast. And finish up coaching your football? I would. That's what I'd be doing. Hit us up, by the way, on the Rest Door text line. Many of you were texting me last night during the game. Yeah, it's true. Now you're a Jags fan. Fins to the left, fins to the right. Still ain't no coach in town. I think they might get Harbaugh. I really do. I have no idea what the Browns are going to do. Hey, hire Vance Joseph. Good luck with that. I love Vance. He's been a good coordinator since he came back to Denver. But I saw he's interviewing like for 5 jobs, so he's going to get one. Some guys just aren't head coaches. There's nothing wrong with that. So did Peacock not have a mute button? But I don't understand. They didn't. They wouldn't allow you to mute their broadcast. Collinsworth he's gotten really bad. All he is a Patrick Mahomes mouthpiece, man. There's a dude on Instagram that makes fun of him and does a great impersonation. And it's just everything comes back to Mahomes. I just mute the TV anyway. I mean, I had it muted last night. I tried to listen a little bit, and then you just hear Herb Street, and you're like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. I can't do it. I just can't. And as a broadcaster, it pains me to say that. I just can't listen to the self-promoting everything about the game crap. That it's just, whew. I always sit back and sometimes I catch myself when I ask what happened to ESPN. They went, oh, I know, Disney, Walt Disney. Okay. Wayne says, I normally wake up later and locked in for a minute. My ears were burning talking of those cheating Broncos against my Browns in the 80s. Number 1 seed, baby. One and out. Broncos will be 1 and out. Brian says, I watched the game in silence last night. No commentary necessary. Yeah, you don't need it. Just have it on, big TV. I don't need it on. I don't need it. I just don't need it. Don't have to listen to the commercials. Oh, so bad. So bad. What's not bad is all of our glorious sponsors. Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program. When they send me a note that, hey, we got some really good announcements coming up in a week or two, right after the calendar turns, in addition to what they've already done, they they're inspiring. In all seriousness, Jonathan and Tim, they are inspiring. Everybody in charge of Pulaski County. It's amazing. I can't wait to see I don't know what they are yet. Who knows what they're going to be? Maybe they're going to create a new team called the Big Dog Sports Talks. The BDSTs. Put the show logo on the helmet. We love those guys. Thank you so much. Thanks to Charles Lee, Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. I was in the grocery store a couple days ago. A guy came up and recognized me and started talking. He said, by the way, I used Little River Heating and Air a few weeks ago. They were awesome. Some of the best customer service I've ever had. Yeah. Yeah, they are. I think that's great. I love hearing stuff like that. People who are partners here with me on the show. And again, everybody that is on the show is amazing. There's Ryan Pry, the attorney, 701 West Main Street in Radford. Trust and estate planning. Your fan question of the week dominated by Miami, Indiana. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply has been around since 1997, 300 North Franklin Street. Give James a call, 540-381-8011. They have doors, plumbing supplies, installation. The NRB Super Bowl's over here in Christiansburg. 25 years they've been doing it. Call Terry and Amanda, 382-5525. You have an event, you want to reserve some lanes. It's cool over there, man. Thanks to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel. Sold another T-shirt yesterday. Hit me up. You want a T-shirt? $20, 30 if shipped. 4377 Lee Highway in Pulaski. That's Brandon's card. Ready, Set, Fun, Bob Christ 11 at Gmail, ReadySetFun.com. If you're trying to raise money for your team, your organization, whatever it might be, go to the email or just or go to the website, ReadySetFun.com, and email Bob. Bob Christ, Christ 11 at Gmail. Travis Williams, Professional Door Incorporated, residential commercial garage doors, family owned and operated, 38 years in business. Right across from the New River Community College and the sponsor of our very, very popular text line. I love seeing all the messages that come through when the games are going on. Like last night, my phone just kept, but that's fine. It's great. That's what we're here for. We're a community. We're the BDST community. Thanks to Larry Ramsey, National Bank, member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of this program here on YouTube. McClellan Chiropractic. Hey, I'm going to see Mark today. We're going to work out the schedule that we can go over there and get filmed getting my back broken into in all the best ways possible. Mark Hudley, McClellan Chiropractic, sponsors of our text line. And, of course, Family Fencing. First sponsor of the new program. Jason and the gang are the best. Give them a call for a free quote, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrv.com. Look around your yard, envision how it would be to either have, more privacy, but maybe a more fenced-in area for whatever you're thinking about. Let them come and share their ideas, man. They're experts. And get it done now while it's cold. Make Jason come out in the cold. He doesn't mind. He's a high school football official. He can handle it. But thanks to all of our sponsors, Morris, everybody, Harvey's GM, everyone. Oh, I got you, Prometheus. So their feature, I got you. Cool. Okay, yeah, that is cool. So in other words, you can mute you can mute the broadcasters and just hear the game. I like that. That's cool. I like that. All right, thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. By the way, thanks everybody at the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce. Steve, hit them up, man. We need to get some more sponsorship going here in the new year. Tell some of your partners over there that we're helping out. Everybody who's part of this program I've heard from, we've helped. I'm not bragging. It's just that's, when you're honest about how you feel about these businesses, well, I guess I am bragging a little bit. But, I mean, we're sincere about it. We're not just on here talking about these places and we don't have any kind of affinity for them or any kind of understanding how good they are. So, yeah. Oh, beautiful. All right. Yeah. So the Montgomery County Chamber's got Lauren Sisler, sports broadcaster, former Giles resident, to be the keynote for the Women's Leadership Conference in March. Oh, that's great. You know what you should do, Steve? We'll get her on the show if she's up early. It's awesome, man. Thanks for everything you do, and thanks for making us part of the Montgomery County Chamber. Means a whole lot. Can I please sing Heart-Shaped Box by Nirvana? No, not a big Nirvana guy. That's funny. So I like that idea, Prometheus. I might give that a shot. Man. Can't wait till they give Joan Jett and Susanna Hoffs at Pulaski for concert. Yeah, starting that rumor. Oh, there we go. So we have breaking news here on the program. Wow, I didn't realize that. So we're going to have Joni Jett and, hell, I can't find the breaking news. Joan Jett and Susanna. Hey, if they need a place to stay to save some money, come on over to Reiner. We're living here is finer. Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. Have I seen the new pickleball courts at Loving Field? No, I have not. Played a lot of softball at Loving Field growing up, but I have not. Miami is the real good. Yes, they are, Morris. They peaked at the right time. I said it yesterday. Carson Beck has really picked up his game. He played very well last night. Ran in the touchdown. Great stuff, man. Great stuff, man. Which is why we need a Panera, Pepsi, and Bojangles sponsorship. Well, two of those, yes. Two of those would be great. Not the first one. But two of them would be great. But Miami is good, and they are peaking at the right time. And, I'm not necessarily a Miami fan, but it's good for the ACC, and it's good that the SEC shut out again in the title game chase. I'm sorry. If it's petty, then that's petty. Whatever you want to say, then that's petty. But, for me, it makes me happy to see that these things are happening. Yeah. Loving Field named after the couple that also had a movie made. I don't know who Loving Field's named after. Hey, okay, everybody, research. Everyone in chat had Miami. BDST Facebook score prediction yesterday had a bunch of Ole Miss. Yeah, they did. Chat nailed it. Chat's the best community. I had Miami. I had 27-20, though, I think. I have to look and see. 27-20, 27-21, whatever it was. So, yeah, I'm going to enjoy it. All I heard was criticisms leveled at my guy down at JMU, and the Dukes don't belong. Tulane doesn't belong. And you can debate that. That's a separate debate. I get it. Does the SEC belong? SEC had 5 teams in. Do they belong? Oh, that's cool. TLB says, when I was little, families would drive to Loving Field at Christmas to see Santa arrive by plane. Really? That is cool. They would go to that trouble? That is awesome. That's cool. We don't do things like that anymore. Things don't matter as much anymore. It's unfortunate. Oh, Loving Field was an airport. See, I'm learning already. I didn't know that. All right, I'm looking up the particulars here of the score. Poor ESPN. All right, here we go. So last night, Beck was 23 of 37 for 268. Mark Fletcher ran for 133. How about Keelan Marion? He was number 0. Looked like he was open all night. Trinidad Chambliss played well. Lacey Kidd got banged up. Wasn't a whole lot he could do. And Miami won the game despite 10 penalties. Wow. 10 penalties for Miami, just 4 for Ole Miss. Miami outgained them 459 to 398. It was a well-played game. I don't have the same vibe about it with everything going on. Oh, by the way, did you see where the kid from Washington who was causing all the controversy about getting out of his deal that he signed, his representative left him yesterday, early in the day, and then later in the day, he agreed to go back to Washington. Can't make it up. Cannot make it up. I was kind of hoping it would continue because I would hope this would lead to the implosion of the system. But I'm just looking at X right now and everybody ripping the SEC. Another hypothetical win for the SEC. People are putting quotes of what Herb Street will say to try to spin it. One is talking about, oh, this just shows you the depth of the SEC. They beat up each other all year long. By the time they get to the playoff, they're just too worn out and tired. That's pretty funny. That is pretty funny. But they're getting just absolutely skewered. And I'm glad, to be perfectly honest. Look, nobody's denying that from top to bottom they have more talent than any other conference, because look at the NFL draft. It'll be dominated by the SEC. But this is a team game. This is a team sport. And the ACC and the Big Ten will be represented in the title game. Not the SEC. For the third straight year, not the SEC. That's a shame. That's a real shame. Apparently they do. Yeah, I understand. But apparently he met with Jed Fish. And they met for several hours. I think they had dinner, worked out a lot of things. I don't know all the details. More will come out today. But he's going back to Washington. And it comes down to money. Because once they revealed exactly the depth of the contract that was also made with the conference, somehow before he could have gone somewhere else, he would have had to have paid back the $4 million he signed for. And once that came into play, because this is all about money, folks. I don't know how to break it to you, but this is all about money. Clearly, it had nothing to do with the coach because he was gone to a coach he didn't even know very well. But when it came down to money, he said, oops, I better go back to where I was. But we'll find out more today about all that. We shall see. And just let's flip it around a little bit. Let's say James Franklin got a commitment in Blacksburg. And since it's not official yet, let's say Gruckmeyer. Let's say he is, this is hypothetical, but let's say he is holding out because he's talking to another team that offer him $1 million more. All right? Now, he did not make an announcement. He didn't do a big contract signing, so it's different. But I'm just saying, if you heard this was true, if you heard Gruckmeyer was talking to somebody from the Big Ten or the SEC, right? And you knew that there were reports that he had come to Tech already, that he committed to James Franklin or recommitted to James Franklin. And then you find out Tech had to pay him a little bit more. and then he shows up in spring ball, blah, blah, blah. Are you going to sit there and worry about the other thing, or are you going to focus on him being on the field? I don't know the answer. That's up to you. Because I'm with you guys. It would be hard for me at this point. The kid basically broke an agreement. So how are you going to trust him, the most important position on the field, to lead your football team? Wayne, that's a good point. I mean, at the bottom line is now they tried to get through a lot, and you know, kudos to them. But yeah, Ole Miss, you know, Lane Kiffin leaves, and it made it all about him and the coaches, and they left during the title run. They got to the semis. I don't know if they'd have gotten beyond the semis with Lane Kiffin, but we'll never know, will we? To your point. I think the Golding, we saw the Pete Golding thing go down. I think that's the last time we'll see Ole Miss this relevant again. I hate to say that, but no matter what you think of Lane Kiffin, and I know he's not very well thought of outside of Baton Rouge right now, he's the reason Ole Miss was where they are. And I don't see Golding being the kind of guy who's – we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. We'll see. But the Miami Hurricanes, how about that? Didn't even win their league. But here they are playing for the Natty, another Natty. And they got a shot. They got a shot. They do have a shot. The way they play defense, and we'll talk to Coach Elmo about this, and with the way Carson Beck is playing, they've got a shot, man. Looking forward to watching Indiana tonight. I'm pulling for them. Yeah, they do. They have money, but they lost a lot of really good coaches that are going to get bigger paydays, speaking of money, following Lane. That whole offensive staff now is going to go follow Kiffin. So Golding's got to rebuild that. He's not going to get the same recruits that Kiffin did. He just won't. And I'm with you. It's the ugly part of it, but it's the reality part of it. It's just like Franklin. He's got these commitments coming in, but they're going to have to be coached. And what we're going to find out now is the same thing we see in basketball that's been kind of going on more. The total team takeovers the last couple of years in particular in college hoops. Radford, 14 new players. We've played 6 teams that had completely new rosters. How does that mesh? How do they come together? Can you coach these guys for focus on what you're doing for 1 year at least? Can they put their paychecks aside? They've never played together. They've never come into a school like Radford or Tech or Clemson or UVA, whatever. Same thing now with football. You're going to have to get more and more guys. And the ones who succeed are the ones who are able to do that. So we'll see. The culture now becomes, I think, more important than ever. It's got to be changed, but boy, oh boy, it's going to be different. It's going to be different. Wayne says, I'm going to go out on a limb and get torched by Chad. If Indiana beats Oregon, they will beat Miami by 10. No, I think Chad's pretty they understand. I think everybody here in chat knows Indiana's the best team. That's true, Prometheus. They might win a title, a national title, SEC title. That's true, Prometheus. Morris says, calm down. You're playing with his money now, Wayne. That's good stuff. Oh, good. TLB now. He knows some stuff. All right. The Radford Arsenal was completed in 1941 during World War II. The site was chosen because it was surrounded by 3 sides of New River, making attack by land more difficult. Ooh, that's awesome. TLB's a historian, man. That's great. I think I'd heard that before about the Arsenal. That's awesome. But Miami was a better team last night. Yeah, I can't imagine that. A team out of the ACC was actually better than an SEC team. Who knew that could happen in this world? Because that's all we hear. Yeah, Wayne Morris put all of his dough on those Canes to win it all. What's up, Paul? Good morning. The bad thing is it shows how messed up the ACC is, the way this whole thing is going. Yeah, the tiebreakers. They said they're going to address it. I think they did. I don't know. Can't remember. I think they are. Yeah, it does. It does. And I am taking on terrific delight in the SEC being shut out. I know it's petty. I get it. But I am really enjoying the SEC being shut out for the third straight year. That makes me happy. I'm sorry. It just does. All we're told, the brainwashing of the SEC, just like people are brainwashed by politics and what's reported and the lies that are out there. I'm sorry. All we hear from ESPN and Disney, all we hear from Herb Street and those bozos on game day, the only places they go to most of the time are SEC schools. It's all about that contract. They had to push for 5 teams. We were told how Alabama with 3 losses was as good as anybody in the field, which wasn't true. It was never true. Indiana showed you that. Indiana beat them. You remember in the in Rocky II? Remember when Duke was talking to Apollo? He's bad for us, baby. Look, I saw you beat that man like no man has ever been beaten, and he kept coming after you. Well, we saw Indiana beat Alabama like I have never seen Alabama beaten, which is why I think I go into that game tonight against Oregon thinking the Ducks better be ready. It does, Paul. It does. You're exactly right. It makes Notre Dame's claim look more relevant that they should have been in. It does. Hey, I'd have been just fine with Notre Dame getting in over Alabama. Could it have been worse? Could they have been worse? No. And you think about it, all of us watch a lot of college football. And I'm not talking about blatant mismatches between power teams and non-power. Have you seen a team beat up another team like Indiana beat Alabama in the Rose Bowl? I'm going to ask Coach Elmo that here in just a second. I mean, it was so bad that you almost felt like somebody was going to throw in the towel. TLB, Morris, if you lose your 5 smackers, Rick knows a guy who could raise money if it's for a good cause. I do. The Ready Set Fund. It just shows you that Notre Dame and Miami deserve to be in. I still don't know why Alabama made it, other than that's what ESPN wanted. Still don't know why Alabama was in, other than Alabama. Well, yeah, I do. I'm sorry. I'm not. Alabama was in because more people watched their games this year. The data had come in before that, and more people had watched Alabama on TV than any other school in the country. So therefore, they wanted them part of the playoff. That's what it is when you strip down all the bullshit. They just wanted Alabama to be there to enhance as much advertising opportunity and ratings that they could go around and spout. That's what it was. I don't know why I'm asking why they were in. From a competitive standpoint, they shouldn't have been in. Notre Dame should have been in over them. But it was all about ESPN and what they wanted. The organizer of this event, the whole one's in control. Yeah. You can't win. You can't win. Well, if Adrian said that to Alabama before they left the locker room in Pasadena last week, she would have been right. She runs into the locker room. All right, guys, let's go. Let's go get him. Wait. Adrian, you can't win. Yeah, you're right. You're wrong about your husband. The husband who got you out of the rundown pet shop, got you out of that crummy apartment living with your brother who didn't appreciate you, who really kind of took you for granted and abused you verbally all the time, Paulie. The guy who fell in love with you and wanted you to be his partner in his journey to climb to the championship. You were right, Adrian, about Alabama, but you were wrong about your husband. Did you ever apologize to him? Well, it just shows you how insincere Paul Herbstreit is. It's all about the company, man. It's all about his check. It's all about towing the company line. Insincerity. Yeah, an Ohio State guy. Now he gets to watch the team that beat his Buckeyes play for a natty. That's great. Olin Kreutz Rules. Wow, what a great name. Welcome, Olin. Please subscribe to the channel, like and share. We need to get to 1,000 here soon. My Michigan State squad was as good as Bama, laughing out loud. The Spartans will return one day, Olin. They will return. One day, maybe ESPN will go the way of the now defunct MTV. Hokey Bob, correct. The number of fannies in front of the TVs. Yep. It's the only reason Alabama got in. Don't let them try to tell you anything else. And I don't want to hear this anymore with the SEC. I just don't. It's a myth at this point. It's a myth because of pay for play and the portal. It's a myth that you're now the clear superior league to everyone else and everyone has to bow down. Now you're still the power broker because Greg Sankey's been allowed to be that guy along with the Big Ten and the Alliance. But your league is not intimidating. Your league is not better than anybody else's anymore. This is the third straight year, SEC folks, that you haven't played for a natty. If you were far and away so superior, one of those teams would break away and slip in there, right? We got an ACC team in there. All I kept hearing was how bad the ACC was and how they didn't deserve to have anybody in the playoff. Oops. You've got two Big Ten teams playing tonight in the semifinals. The Big Ten, the only team that had two teams. That's not the SEC. You had five. You had nearly half the field, and you didn't make it. So let's just stop. It's all a lie. Stop being brainwashed, humans. Think for yourselves. Understand when people are just throwing a bunch of crap at you that's not true. And it's not true. You can have superior athletes that go on to NFL careers and get drafted more than other leagues. That doesn't mean that your teams are pound for pound that much better than everybody else in the other Power Fours, because we're seeing that it's just not true. The SEC just finished its bowl record 4-10. So let's just stop with it. I know you have all the money. Of course you do. You're partners with the biggest network involved in all this. You're partners with Disney. They control the whole playoffs. Of course you've got more money. Of course your TV deal's bigger. Of course you can pay more for coaches and for players, but it's not getting you the results, is it? So let's just stop. It's all a lie. It's all fabrication. It's all fabrication. Let's go by your own metric, SEC guys and gals. Who's playing for a natty? ACC, Big Ten. So the Big Ten, the ACC are better than the SEC, right? That's all we're told. Results are supposed to matter. Isn't that what this is all about? Isn't that why you put those numbers on that big shiny board? It's called a scoreboard. And I don't know if you know this, Kirk Herbstreit and ESPN, but at the end of the day, whichever one of those bright, shiny numbers has more points than the other, that's the winner of the game. Not hypothetical, theoretical reasoning about why the team that lost is still superior because of the league in which they come. Did you know that's why we keep score in sports? Yeah, I know it is. It's breaking news. But we keep score in sports because the winner moves on. Paul says, Adrian, I believe, did that out of love and didn't want to see Rocky hurt because even if he won, he would lose due to his health issues. No, I'm not going to give Adrian that much credit. I guess in her mind, yes. That's the way it came across. Rocky IV teaches us a lot about life and loyalty and friendship and marriage. Look, everybody wants to criticize Rocky. He was in the corner with Apollo when we first met Drago, the unstoppable machine. The whole buildup at the end of Rocky III, when he trained Rocky to win the title over Clubber Lang, right? Taught him how to be a fast fighter, if you will, a black fighter. Remember all that? It was well done. And I will still say to this day that Carl Weathers was the true, I won't say a bigger star and a bigger reason than Sylvester, but Carl Weathers was, if Sylvester was the guy that franchise, it's a tight window for Apollo and Carl Weathers' character. Brilliant character. But anyway, I digress. You got James Brown out there living in America, right? Apollo had to have it. He had lost the title. He was a fighter. He couldn't live with himself if he didn't try to beat Drago. There was even the scene when Rocky was like, man, we got to stop this. This guy, we got to come back. We got to regroup. You're not stopping, man. Don't stop. You know, if you stop this fight, it's going to go ahead and kill me anyway. So Rocky's sitting there holding the bloody towel, and the big right hand ends Apollo's life. But Rocky already knew if he threw that towel in, he himself would have been the one to kill Apollo. Adrian should have known better, is what I'm saying. Prometheus says it's one of the positives for the NIL. Adrian got a fur coat and a robot out of it. She did. Rocky getting brain damage, and she didn't care. Yeah, both games should have been the same day. It's stupid. I hate, why are we playing them? AFC and the NFC championship games are the same day. Oh, yeah, you got to have Herbie on both. We did. Yes, Wayne and I decided that we're getting these old school jaw metal lunch boxes like 10-year-old kids. That's right. And we'll be the coolest 10-year-old kids on the block too, Wayne. He says the portal could have an equalizing effect, but the cost for that effect is too high. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt Apollo faked the one on the beach. Yes, he wanted to build up Rocky's confidence, 100%. In no world, in no universe, in the multi-universe, could Sylvester Stallone outrun Carl Weathers. He was good, wasn't he? He was good in Happy Gilmore. I don't think I saw anything Carl Weathers was ever in that wasn't good. God rest his soul. Shortly after Rocky, Was it Action Jackson? Is that right? I think he was in a movie called Action Jackson. Wayne? He was good in that too. Yeah, he was good in Predator as kind of the guy used to be as cool as Arnie out there in the field, but he got corporated, right? He ended up working for the man, and he kind of manipulated that whole thing. The whole great slapping of the handshake and the two massive arms. He lost an arm in that too. Yeah, okay, it was Action Jackson. Thank you. Good movie, man. TLB, where was Adrian when Rocky was shooting up the town? All right, so Tommy Boy's daddy wouldn't let him enjoy his meat. Is that Rocky 5? Rocky 5 I don't recognize as a film. Rocky 5 is did not ever happen. It didn't happen. So like Arthur Fonzarelli denial that he actually failed at something. Never happened. It didn't happen. That's right. For me, that you did. You watched Over the Top earlier this week. Those movies are so, I mean, they're just comfort food, man. I'm with you. I'm with you. Predator, I love Predator. Now, Predator, I think Predator is a good movie. Now, there's a lot of Arnie one-liners in it. But I'm telling you, man, no matter how many times I've seen it, when the first interaction with the Predator, when he's running from him, he slides, he gets the mud all over him, and he thinks he's cool when he's gone through the waterfall and the current's carrying him toward the shore, and he's kind of relaxing on the edge of the beach, and he looks, and all of a sudden you see the splash behind him because the Predator's still coming. And then he panics, and so he's just crawling there waiting to be killed, but the mud had taken away the heat detector. Man, I tell you, I love that scene every time. And I watch it like I'm watching it for the first time. Every time. Great scene, man. Great scene. Yes. Tropical Thunder is a great movie. A lot of satire in that movie, and Robert Downey was great in that movie. He was. Okay, you're joking about First Blood. Okay, TLB, I'm sorry. It's early. I have a long drive to Wise ahead today. It's good stuff. Good stuff all the way around. I love Predator, man. I do. I love Predator. Stallone is always going to be my number one because I have such an affinity for boxing and for Rocky. But Arnold Schwarzenegger was terrific as an action star. We're never going to have another action star like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, exactly, Brian. I'm the same way. You see Predator, you put it on. And my kids, I didn't realize it, but I meant to tell you, I didn't tell you all this. So over Christmas, we always kind of watch movies my kids are in, and none of them had seen Predator. I said, well, whatever plans you had, we're done. Click. And they all enjoyed it. They all get the time that it came out, but they all enjoyed it. And they had to pause it because my daughter was like, so wait a minute, pause that for a second. So he couldn't see him, could he? I'm like, and I'm playing dumb. What do you mean? I mean, why didn't the Predator see? Because he had mud on him? I said, yeah. Isn't that clever? The helicopter scene in First Blood, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, the First Blood, that original First Blood movie. That's why I have my own podcast, because I talk goodly. The original First Blood was really, really well done. It's very artistic. It has a lot of meaning to it, much like the first Rocky. And then the franchise is built, from that. I wonder what Coach Elmo's top 3 movies are. I don't know. We'll ask him. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I love that movie. The first Conan the Barbarian. Conan the Destroyer was not nearly as good as Conan the Barbarian. Yeah. Oh, that's Rambo. Yeah. Where he's concealed in the mud bank. Was that the first one? Yeah. And then he opens his eyes against the. Yeah, that's good, man. It's good stuff. No way. Rhinestone. No. Of course, he only made that because he and Dolly at the time were, Oh, yeah. Beastmaster. All right, somebody double check me here while we bring Coach Elmo in. The guy who played Beastmaster also played in a show that I loved about boxing that didn't last very long called The Contender. I don't know his name. Is it Mark Singer? Research, peeps. Wayne? Mark Singer? Beastmaster? See if he didn't play in a boxing show called The Contender, which I loved. He's always a contender. That guy, for granted, he's never thrown in the towel. Coach Elmo, how you doing, Coach?
Oh yes, I have. We were playing 1994. No, 94. We're playing Boston College. We're 6-2. We got a chance to get a bowl bid. 93, the 93 season. And they had a great team. They really had one of Boston College's better teams to that point in time. And when I was at Syracuse, we had beaten BC 2 years in a row. So I was fairly cocky enough to think we're going to go win this game. And next thing you know, after the second series, I had my head up in the press box down on the table telling Coach Beamer, I have a bad game plan and they're not executing it worth a crap. I said, I'm going to try to hold these people to 60 today. And if you want to fire me, I got no problems with it.
I understand completely. Yeah.
That you can ask Brian Steinspring. He was in the box sitting right
funny.
next to me.
That's funny.
And we proceeded to. It ended up being a close game offensively. We counter punched it and ended up losing the game. And we were fortunate enough to beat Syracuse the next week and get the Independence Bowl bid. But yeah, no. So I threw in the towel after the second series.
Well,
I knew it was a bad plan.
Well, I get it, but that's a great segue because there were times you had to know as a coach, right? All the stops you were at and all the great programs that you just knew some days you were like early on. Like I think Kalen DeBoer, when they went to that first interview with him during the Rose Bowl, I think at that point he'd seen enough and he was just like,
no doubt.
We got no shot.
I call it a bad plan and the players aren't executing that because, as long as you execute, there's no such thing as a bad defense if everybody executes.
That's right. That's right.
But, and some coaches, you can have better decisions, better plans than others, but that was that was a towel throw in.
Hey, I want to announce something, Coach, because I was talking to Todd Grantham last night, and I don't think you'll mind, yeah. So Todd Grantham, of course, new defensive coordinator at UAB. How great is this, peeps? This gentleman here has been tapped into by Coach Grantham at UAB. You are consulting for UAB, and I think it's just absolutely perfect. Congratulations, man. That's great. How'd all that happen?
Well, it's been fun. Todd and I, we've always stayed in contact and whatever, and he's always appreciated. I know even when he was with the New Orleans Saints, he called me, came out of a staff meeting. He goes, I still want to thank you for all what you taught me in terms of personnel and things of that nature, because that is a strength. And not that you're better than anybody, but when you're going through your experiences and, after what players teach you throughout the years. And I had an early enough career my first player I ever watched on film was Buddy Curry from GW Danville. That was the very first player on a 16 millimeter film. And so I was fortunate enough to see what a great player was supposed to look like. And throughout the years, and then the Lawrence Taylors and all those Virginia great players back in the 60s, 70s when I got hired at William & Mary in Richmond, my first 3 to 5 years of coaching. So you have this picture in your mind of what it's supposed to look like. And so Todd always appreciated that strength of mine. And so he's asked me to look at portal kids, and really smart about it too, because, and I've always said, Todd Grant was one of the smartest, toughest, and you can appreciate this. You played with him. I mean, the combination of intelligence and toughness in the game of football there's not enough. You don't got enough money to buy it.
Nope.
And that's what he was. His listening skills. It's always. I wish I had him. If I had him, I'd have finished out a whole lot better than I did.
Yeah.
He had great listening skills. And
he was coaching. He was coaching even in high school. He didn't realize it, but he was coaching that team in high school. He was the baddest ass on the field, and he was coaching all of us too. Yeah.
Yeah, that does not surprise me. And he ended up playing for Pat Watson, one of the, he passed away years ago, but one of the best offensive line coaches, best people you'd ever want to meet in this business of coaching. And so he was fortunate, having Coach Hicks and then Coach Dooley and his demeanor, and then Pat Watson and his attention to details. So, but the bottom line is what's been fun is he's actually, what he has sent me are kids who are, the third, fourth, fifth round kids, not the first or second rounders, because everybody can see the first, second rounders. It's because when you lose that first round or second round kid, okay, what's your next best third round, fourth round, fifth round kid? Who's the next best available football player? Talent. And that's what he sent me to look at. And not that he's making the sole decision off of me, but the more information you can have, the better the decisions you can make. And he's using me as a part of another set of eyes, another opinion. And what's interesting, it's been a while since I've done this with any consistency, but the first one player you always look at is your problem. I know for me, it's the toughest eval. The very first one I look at is always, I'm tougher on the critique. And then after a while, then when you start looking at, and then most have been all defensive backs, and when you start after the second or third or fourth kid, now you start comparing it and you start looking at the, strengths, weaknesses, and then you go back, and I have to go back. I go back and re-look at them and reevaluate them and then re-rank them. Because all of a sudden you start comparing to what you're seeing. Okay, this is the best of the rest. And you got to be able to have who's your number one guy, who's your number two guy, who's your number three guy after the first/second round of player. And then where can you get the best talent for the most value now? And that's where Todd's invaluable as a college coach right now, because it is, example, there's a kid I looked at. I'm not going to tell you the schools because it's not fair.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I was told that he signed with a university, a defensive back for in a Power 5 for $500,000. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking at a kid that, for Todd from X and Y university, but the other university, that all of a sudden it's not even close monetarily. It's like $35,000.
Yeah.
I told Todd, I said, I don't see any difference. I'm not going to tell you who's better, who's not better, but I sure as hell don't see a whole lot of difference in terms the $500,000 compared to $35,000. I don't see it.
Right. Interesting.
I'm looking. Is he the Thorpe Award winner? is he, the best DP in the country, And so I told him, I said, well, schedule that team. But it's been fun. It's been.
That's what he said. Yeah, he said he's having a blast. He said, and he says, by the way, we can't get into the details, but he said, by the way, Rick, we're killing it. He says we're killing it.
Yeah. Oh, he's I can see that. I want to show you something. I don't know if you can see this. This is the first sheet I always fill out.
Oh, yeah. We got it.
Yeah. Basically, it's when I first look at a kid, these are the boxes I check. Okay. And basically it's all about I'll hold it up. It's just about the physicality. I don't look at position specific. I look at the physical traits of the players.
No, that was a fail. Okay, there we go. I was going to leave it alone now. There we go.
Yeah. So as you look, you sit there and go height, weight, growth potential, speed, burst, change of direction, body balance, upper body. You like kids where you don't want to see their armpits when they're running. You want to, are they upper body stiff, or, the lower body, where the hips, the ankles, the flexibilities, the stride length, very critical.
That's cool. That's cool.
And then your motor, your physical traits, ball skills, finishing, and judgments. So that's the first thing I do. I'll just go down through and I'll make my notes as I go before I get into this position-specific evaluation. Then I'll do a very in-depth position-specific evaluation where every physical trait that I just went through, I throw a number on there. And that's the way what Nick had done, and I know Todd appreciated what I'm doing. It takes a while. It takes me to look at 4 kids. I went from 9 to about 2 o'clock to look at 4 kids because I'm going to get as many plays as I can get to watch them and see where the contacts with the football are and things of that nature. And then you get into position specific.
What quality? What quality or physical attribute when you turn on a tape and you see a guy? What if something happens early? What is it that makes you go, whoa?
Well, I'll give you an example. I'm watching this kid from Western Carolina. I'll give you the school for another university. This is my second time doing this, but with Todd, it's been the guys. The first university I was doing this for, I haven't heard from them. Nothing. I did evals, haven't heard a thing. So I don't care. It doesn't bother me, But at least Todd's constantly communicating with me of where I am with the eval because I want to know. Hey, Phil, your eval. What are you on drugs? Well, why do you like this kid? I mean, come on now. You
want something back? Yeah. Either way,
I want to be critiqued. But I'm sorry. What was the question you asked? I'm sorry.
When you turn on a film and you're watching the first 30 seconds or first minute, and you see this kid, and you go and you stop the film, and you're like, wait a minute, I just saw something that. Okay, I'm going to have to make sure I look at this guy a long time. Yeah,
I'm watching this kid from Western Carolina, and I'm looking at him, and he that defensive back against. I always watch him against the best teams. Like if it's a 1AA school or a Power 5 school, I'm watching. Okay, are they playing an ACC school? Are they playing a Big Ten school? Blah blah blah. So I'm watching Wake Forest game, which is a good offense, good quarterback.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this kid and when I watch a team too, I'll watch the kid, but I'll expand my eyes just to see. And all of a sudden this one kid, they threw a post pattern and he had as a corner, we call it an inverted half. He had he's the post player by himself. And all of a sudden he just, it's a wow play. You go, wow, who's this kid? So immediately I go Google the roster, find out who this kid is. And I found out he had some academic accolade and things of that nature. So I called, I said, hey, you got to look at this kid. It was like 3 plays. I saw 3 plays. I said,
wow,
you need to evaluate this kid. So I told Todd about him. I said, Todd, this is the one kid. He's 6 foot, 190 pound, good looking kid. He's got some academic credentials. He was like Southern Conference academic honorable mention, which gets my attention. Okay, right away, because I want smart guys. Give me smart guys, problem solvers.
Yeah, sure.
So if I'm going to invest money into them. So Todd calls me back. He goes, you still got a big boy. He just signed with Kentucky.
Hey, that's great.
But what shows is the first thing you want to look for is when they're in a stop position and they're changing direction. The very first thing I want to see is where the arms and the legs. When I'm in a change of direction, okay, whether you do it, cone drills or you watch the game and the kid, he stopped. He's at point A and he's got to get to point B. And football's not circular like basketball. It's straight line theories, right? Shortest distance, 2 points is a straight line.
Right.
So the first thing you're looking for are the appendages. The very first thing, do I see armpits? All of a sudden I'm seeing the coffee grinders, I call them. They grinding coffee because it's wasted motions. They're not able to get into their top end speed. You can coach it to a little bit, but all of a sudden, are they upper body stiff? Are they playing compact with their body? Is their feet outside the framework of their shoulders when they're in that change of direction? And then when they're running, are they, I call them Queen Mary turns. Are they making the Queen Mary turn? And, and because of the stiffness of the hips, ankle flexibility is probably the number one factor I look at. You can, anybody, when you watch a football team or a football player, if their feet are flat on the ground, if they are flat-footed or on their toes, they're not ankle flexible. Why is that important? Because if you can dorsiflex your ankle, in other words, take your toe and point it to your chin, okay, you're loading hamstring and glute muscles, okay? If you're not flexible in your ankles, those lower body muscles, you can squat all you want. You're not loading them. They're not getting loaded. So when you watch a kid and he's on the front half of his foot, watch your basketball team, Rick. Just look at your basketball players. And the NBA, this is a critical eval in the NBA because those contracts are guaranteed.
Yeah.
They want athletes. And what happens is when you have flexible ankles, you have a much better chance of transitioning to your top end speed, which is, and then your change of direction becomes a strength for you with flexible ankles. If you don't have flexible ankles, that doesn't say you can't play, but the two factors that are involved in ankle flexibility are transition to top end speed and change of direction. So that's what I'm looking at right away. I don't care the position. D-line, linebackers, DBs, quarterback, I don't care. I want athletes. I'm looking for a gymnast. The gymnasts are the greatest athletes in the world. Why? Because they got great body control. Their control of their body in awareness in space.
Yeah.
And that first thing you're looking for is whether it's an athlete on D-line, athlete at linebacker, athlete at DB. Who's the best athlete? Then before I get into position specifics. And then you're looking at, okay, decision-making. The two positions you can really evaluate decision-making are running back and quarterback. That's why I hate wide receivers becoming DBs to a point, okay? Because what's the decision to turn around and go catch a ball?
Yeah.
But the running back, especially at safety position, the running back, quarterbacks, it's a one time you can evaluate the kid's decision-making. The 2 positions on the whole football field. So that's basically sorry to go into the great detail.
No, it's very interesting. I think people are loving it.
When you ask me,
it's great. It's great. I got to ask you about last night. What did you see? I know you were watching Miami. You had Miami winning, and sure enough, they made the play at the end. Carson Beck continues to step up his game as we get further along in this postseason.
Well, what's interesting? Most of his throws he made were great timing throws, were into the boundary. and the throws to the bigger field, he really floated them. He had a couple of really explosive plays he could have created with that, but they just died. The balls died, and this is an indoor stadium, so it wasn't like the wind affected it, So his arm, when you say arm strength, which I never gave a crap about, it's accuracy and timing. He had great accuracy and timing with his boundary throws. He really did. And then I will say one thing: the throws he made, what we call the vertical stretch game, when all of a sudden he really viewed the whole field right to left, and all of a sudden he exhausted every resource and hit that big deep in cut. In one of them in the game was like, wow. But you know what? When you really look, where they won the game was their offensive line, Miami's O-line.
Yeah, they were good.
Not only did they run block, they pass protected. They did a great job when they in the last quarter, when they early they were able to get to Beck a little bit. He's not as mobile a quarterback.
No, he's not.
But boy, did they! And for that offensive line, the pressure on the O-line to pass protect him I thought they did a great job. I mean, when you look, hey, Rick, my top 6 reasons of winning it, keys to win a game, they actually didn't win all 6 of them. They won the points per game. They were averaging 31 for 14 games. They hit 31.
Yeah.
Okay. That's their average for 14 games. They had 51 rushing attempts, and I've always said this. Okay?
I think about you every game I watch with that. Yeah.
Just once you see when you look at a team that won, I don't care who it is, high school, college, pro, go right to the rush attempts right away. You get 40 plus, your percentage to win that game are pretty damn good. Okay, they went 51 rushing attempts. Okay, they had 3 drives of 13 plays, 15 plays, and 15 plays. And I'm telling you, that'll wear on. And to Miami's, Mississippi's credit, Ole Miss's credit, those kids fought. They still fought.
They did. They really did.
They did. Down, but they fought. And then the turnovers. They had the 1 interception. But here's the deal: they lost the turnover battle. Ole Miss didn't turn the ball over. Miami did with the 1 interception. Okay. But the third downs is where the game was won. Ole Miss was at one point 0 for 6 on third down conversions. Okay. And you look at the discrepancy between numbers of play. Miami had 88 plays. You get that's 31 points in 80. They'll score 31 points in 88 plays.
Yeah.
The average is 65. That's your average now, because they've changed the first downs. They're running the clock.
Yeah, you run the clock. The game's shorter. Yeah.
You don't see those 80. The offensive coaches hate that because the spread guys want 90 plays.
Yeah.
85 plays. They want plays. All right. And the average today is 60, 65, which is what the NFL is. They don't want anything over 60, 60.
No.
They want a 3-hour game. Let's go to the next one. So when you're looking at the play, the numbers, Ole Miss had 60 and Miami had 88. And that's because of the third downs. Miami was 57% efficient. They were 11 for 19 on third downs. They had 19 third downs, which is a credit to Ole Miss playing first, second down defense.
Right.
For all those third downs. But now, that's the good news. The bad news is Miami converted 11 of them.
That's right.
I mean, even when it was 3rd and 10, they'd get the 4th and 2 twice, and they converted that to first down. So I put that in the win column. They actually won the third down battle because they got to that 3rd and 2 or less in a positive field position where they could go for it. So you got to start factoring that in terms of third down battles. Normally if it's 3rd and 10 and they gain 8, you've lost the battle. But now when you figure where they are with field position and do they get manageable 4th downs to go for it,
right?
And if they go for it and win it, I put they won the third down battle. Okay.
Well, their confidence showed it on the last drive. The time didn't matter. The circumstances, the stakes didn't matter back. Because they had done what you said, Coach. They knew they'd done that the whole game, so they kind of felt like we're going to continue to make plays and we're going to score this touchdown. You could just see it. You could see it.
It was. And then the other thing too, Miami did a great job with they had sudden change. That's another factor. You start looking at sudden change. All of a sudden, your offense turns the ball over in a positive field position, and they hold them to a field goal. That's huge, Rick.
Yeah,
That's
is.
Huge. I'm just telling you, it's huge. And then here's the deal. My buddy always told me this: when you watch football, and you watch, especially in the middle eight, the last 4 minutes before the half, 4 minutes, or excuse me, the 2-minute drill before the half or the 2-minute drill at the end of the game, inevitably, if a defensive player drops an interception to get off to either win the half or win the first half or win the game, okay, inevitably it's like, no, not good.
Yeah.
That offense is scoring.
That's
the
right.
percentage of that happening, think about it, Rick, of all the games you've watched where a guy drops the INT to seal the game, and next thing you know, go, nope, you just gave him more opportunities to win.
That's right. That's right.
And when you're playing against a really, really good quarterback, it's going to happen. You better, and they had 4 INTs dropped, 4 in both hands. It's not like they were 4 of them. If they catch 2 of them, I'm never greedy as a DB coach. I'd be in there saying, hey, we need 1.
That's right. Get at least 1.
I'm getting all 4, but give me 1. I love 2. That'd be my conversation with the DBs on the sidelines. Hey, you catch the damn football.
Catch the ball. Come on.
Now that we're paying you, please.
You got no excuse. There's no sympathy anymore.
You're not the college amateur student athlete anymore. We're paying you $100,000 or $500 to drop footballs. Are you serious? That'd be my conversation. And if they did those, Rick, that game's not even close. The game's not even close. It's a convincing win. But and then Miami's 10 penalties. How about the targeting, the discrepancies in the targeting call? The Ole Miss kid, that's not. And how about the idiot of retired dumb officials like me having me on? That dumbass. He's sitting there. This is defenseless receiver. The kid's trying to gain extra. I almost threw up.
They got to get rid of targeting.
That guy was standing next to me. I'd have hit the son of a bitch.
Yeah, the guy in the booth is a joke because they got to get rid of targeting. Targeting is no longer real. It's no longer a thing.
I love what the ACC does. I love what the ACC does when they go right to the review. And you can see what they're talking about. You can hear.
Yeah, everybody needs to be transparent. Yes.
They're so transparent with it. To me, I think some of these conferences are afraid to do that because they cannot. Right. They have to get it right.
I think you're 100% right.
People watching, and to me those 2 targeting calls. What a shame they throw the kid from Miami up, but they don't throw the kid from Ole Miss up. Which, if you buy the rule, the Ole Miss thing that was targeting. It was helmet to helmet.
Yeah, by the rule, the Ole Miss thing was targeting. Right.
Helmet to helmet.
The rule. Just got to stop.
Come on, don't give me that. They wanted Ole Miss to win. The old ESPN. Let's get
they did.
the SEC team in there.
They did.
At least that one official who was retired up in the box trying to define, which was an absolute joke. Because you know what? It's one of those plays. The more rules they have, the harder it is to officiate.
I know. Right. Yeah. Well,
it's not their fault, but.
Well, I know we're going to recap it on Monday, and I've already asked you about Indiana. That's what I tell people. You heard what Coach Elmo said, right? You gave all these great numbers. If Indiana plays their game, they're winning tonight.
Plays their game, they're winning.
They're going to win the game.
Did Miami play their game, completely in terms of what, the things that their strengths? No, but like I said, there's certain parts of the third down, which was their strengths, offense and defense, that was ridiculous. They went to an extreme. I mean, they went to a dominating third down. And when you win the battle of third down, you say, well, Ole Miss never turned the ball over. Hey, look, if you win the third down battle on defense and you win it at 70% or more, they had 80%. They were at 80, what was it? 80 something, 88, I don't know, whatever. 80%.
Yeah.
That's like a fumble or an interception. That you can combine that to say, okay, we won the turnover battle because you're giving the ball. That's where you get 88 plays. They had 19 third downs. If Ole Miss stops 1, 2, or 3 of those, they may have won the game.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how you got to look at it. You look at it like, give me 2 more third down wins. That's maybe 6 to 8 less plays they're taking. And that's going to eliminate one of the scores on their 3 15-plus play drives that they had.
Right.
Which is knocking the clock down. But, you got the 4 best teams, I think, because you have the 4 best. Look at the quarterbacks, Rick. Those are the 4 best quarterbacks in college football. That Chambliss kid, what a special
he's
kid
he
is.
Yeah.
I'd take him in the NFL. He's as close to Mahomes as you're going to get. He's not Mahomes, but he's as close as you're going to get.
And Mendoza, you're right. Dante Moore and Mendoza tonight. Beck
looked like, I think he's been playing for 7 years and it looked like it. He just, ice was through his veins on the last drive. And
doesn't he look like Brady? He reminds me of Tom Brady a little bit. Just, I don't know. His demeanor, just the way he handles himself,
No, he's not Brady.
But not to that level. But I'm talking about the same stage of their career coming out of college and so forth. Just that whole approach that he has when you hear him talk. It just reminds me of early Brady,
Well, you know what he's done? I'll tell you what he has done, Rick. One thing you can't discount, look at his record.
Right. He's a winner. Yeah.
He's got good surrounding cast and all that.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Coach? Looks like we lost Coach. Can everybody still see me? Did we lose Coach, or did we mess up here? Or have we lost connection? Let's see here. I don't know if we had a blip. Did we have a blip? Let me check. No, we're still good here. Can anybody hear me? Is it just Coach? All right, let me see here. Looks like we just lost Coach. All right, so you guys can see me okay?
Can you hear
me? There
he
is. Hey, we got you back. Yeah, you were frozen there for a little bit.
That's your signal. We've had enough of you.
That means it's time to get Coach out.
That's right. Hey, no. We've had enough time. Nope, sorry. You're starting to repeat yourself. We're out of here.
That's all right. Well, listen, enjoy the game tonight. I know you will. And I know I like to receive texts from you as the game's going on. So we'll see if Indiana can pull it off and see if we have that Indiana-Miami game tonight. We'll see. Or next week.
Well, this should be another great game. It was a heck of a game. I watched the whole game, which I usually don't. I don't have to stay up that late. But I had to watch the whole game. So I appreciate you having me on. A lot of fun.
It was a good game. No, thanks for jumping back on, Coach. Thanks for taking us inside, man. It's great to learn all this stuff. It's so cool.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right, man. Be good. There you go. There's Coach. Yeah. How good is that guy? I just love listening, man. I love the eval. Hearing him say that. I remember one time John Madden, of course, it's the Broncos, but Champ Bailey, and he said that about Champ Bailey's hips. And I want to say that he used the term appendages. He said Champ Bailey has the best frequency of his appendages or something of any cornerback he had ever seen. And you think about Champ, you go back and watch him run in that way. And that's what Coach is talking about. How great is that, man? Mike Ashley's on the road. Hopefully he remembers to check in. I can see you too, Opal. Yeah, I think we just had a little frozen moment there with Coach. And I wasn't sure because you're like, okay, is this here? So I had to check, and I saw that I have a little thing now where I can check the connection, and it was popping at 100%. So at that point, I think I realized it was Coach. How great is that, man? First of all, the fact that you have Coach Elmo and Todd Grantham working together to build this first roster for the UAB Blazers for Coach Mortensen. I love that. How great is that? To have Coach Elmo as an analyst? Very smart move by Todd Grantham. And they won't now, but soon we're going to find out. But Todd just said we're killing it. That kind of evaluation right there is immeasurable. Get a guy making $500,000. Here's a guy making $35 million. We can get him for $35,000. 35,000 kids just as good. I love it. Mark Singer was in V. You're right. I do remember V. Didn't that have Aaron Gray? No, maybe not. Morris says Elmo has some organizational skills. Wants smart first, then athletic skills. Yep. Yeah, that's what Rag says about Marty. Yeah. Slow as a mule, but smart. Jen the Gamecock Girl coming up. She's supposed to play her saxophone later, thanks to Coach Elmo. I don't know where in the hell Mike Ashley is, but there he is. He's with us.
Where's Waldo?
Are you in Tejas? You're in Texas.
Beaumont, Texas, boys.
Beaumont, Texas.
Yeah, I've been through here before. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I tell you what was okay. It's like 70 degrees down here. Shorts.
Oh, well, yeah.
Put on the shorts yesterday. And yeah.
How was your trip, man? This is cool. So you let people know why you're in Texas and how'd your journey go?
Well, okay. We'll just jump right into open road, open mic.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Well, as many of you may know, my mother-in-law, we moved her up to Delaware at our estate up there, and that caused me to redshirt 2 beach seasons, pretty much. But we found out this winter it was way too cold for her up there. So I vowed to her I would get her back to Texas if she found a rental place. So here we are, me and her and the brother-in-law. No dog named Blue or anything, but yeah. So we left Delaware Sunday, and they're at the fabulous Mother-in-Lago complex, and got to Fairfax, and then left out of Virginia on Monday. It's been 1,400. Well, it's been 1,469 miles so far to get here to Beaumont. Let's see the. Beaumont, by the way, for you sports fans, it does have a distinction. It is the birthplace home of Babe Didrikson Zaharias. That name mean anything to you?
Yeah, Babe Zaharias. Yes, absolutely.
Arguably, until Wilma Rudolph, considered the greatest female athlete
ever
these United States. Yes,
right,
and maybe
right.
in the world, and then really made her bones as a golfer back in the day, and then married Alex Karras. No, wait, that was Susan Clark who played her in the movie that married Alex Karras of the Detroit Lions. Do you remember all that?
I do remember all that.
And then the show Webster and all kinds of fun stuff like that. She does. I'm happy to say I've driven by her museum twice. I have not gone there. It's just a little, I don't know. It reminded me sort of like Bissett Park. You're over a bridge and you look down and there's the museum. Anyway, it's been 9 states in 4 days, so you have to excuse me if I'm a little bleary-eyed here. I bedded down in Knoxville the first day, and true story, as I approached the fabulous megalopolis that is Buc-ee's there was what looked like a dead beaver on the side of the road. I took that as a really bad omen. And then, Buc-ee's didn't have the stupid beaver logo at half staff or anything, so.
Oh, wow.
It didn't even take the hat off. I don't know what they were thinking there. Okay, next it was Meridian, Mississippi, as I entered the land of Scott Bennett, our good friend down at Roanoke College, strength and conditioning coach, also tenure at Radford and Virginia Tech. I'm pretty much following in reverse order the tour I had a couple years ago when I had driven down there with my dog Rosie. Now that was a trip because I was on my own and I could do whatever I wanted.
I remember that.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
And coming back, I called it the Al Roker Revenge Tour because every day I got up and turned on the weather to see what was ahead of me, but all they were talking about was the city I was in yesterday, and this happened 3 days. The city I was in the day before flooded.
Wow, really?
It chased me all the way home. I don't remember what basketball game I was trying to get back to in Radford, but I was headed toward Radford, and this really made me run a fast break and keep up the pace to get home. Yesterday, reaching the south of Texas here. Well, I drove due south all day on 59, and then so I went through Tennessee, a sliver of Georgia, a swath of Alabama, and a goodly portion of Mississippi, and then came across the bottom of these great states and what the Redneck Riviera, which is a place I really enjoy. I've got about 400 miles to go to get to Harlingen, which is a place that, well, not in news now because it's all over the country, but that's ground zero for the immigration debates and things. And politicians bus in and get off and yell and scream and get back on the bus and go back home. And the people down there are doing fine. And I can't wait to get down there and have some Tex-Mex tonight, which is the game plan. There's a great little joint. I love my tacos at the Las Vegas restaurant there, ironically.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Now here's the epiphany I had on the way down here. I wanted to tell you about. I think I mentioned it to you yesterday, dog. Once I left Virginia, I have passed 38 Waffle Houses.
38?
Yeah, being a former SID and have that anal retentive thing in me, I have to have something to count to keep me occupied, my mind occupied.
Absolutely, yeah.
Actually, anal retentive is a really nice hyphenated word for what I am. But anyway, so I didn't count the ones on I-81 in Virginia because, we all know. You guys can all probably picture a couple on your mind if you think about driving up 81 where the Waffle Houses are. There's a real good one, Stanton, by the way. Anyway, so I was thinking about this, and it kind of came to me as I drove south in ACC/SEC terms. They've just got so much more fried golden deliciousness at a reasonable price in their lives down here, and I'm not sure how that translates to football, but just maybe could waffles correlate to pancake blocks? There's something here about the lifestyle that I think makes their football generally better. Although the playoffs have been very interesting this year, and how about the U representing for the ACC?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, wait a minute! Isn't the U the southernmost point of the ACC? So,
yes.
I don't know. So I taught my in-laws the cow game when you're driving. That's something I grew up with in Virginia. You guys know that. If you're on the side of the car, if you go by and you see the cows, you get all those cows. And conversely, the person on the other side, on their side of the car, they get those cows. And then the winner's really not decided because if you see a cemetery on your side of the car, a headstone, anything like that, you lose all your cows. And when I was a younger man and we were passing all this time on those big South trips, you had to do stuff like this, right? So I'm sharing that with everybody because there's generations of Radford student workers who know the cow game now. My mother-in-law kicked my butt yesterday, and I couldn't find a cemetery for her. Now, we had to stop playing on 81 because everybody knows where the cows are and everybody knows where the cemeteries are. So, that's just how that worked out. I learned also that in my mother-in-law's Lexus, we don't have Sirius or any kind of radio thing, which now I know is more of a necessity than I ever thought. Nothing against radio stations who I champion and would love to, and certainly wouldn't come on your show and talk bad about radio. But driving through Mississippi yesterday for a long time, I heard both kinds of music, country and Western.
Right.
So anyway, when we got all the way down into Louisiana and turned to the right and started heading towards Texas across the Redneck Riviera, I had my moment of zen, which was as I started seeing signs for New Orleans and Baton Rouge, as two of the most fun places in the world, and Arlo Guthrie's "City of New Orleans" came on the radio. So hello America, how are you? Don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the City of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done, which pretty much summed it up for me yesterday.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow.
But I didn't get here in time to see the game last night. And boy, that was one of the best, I'm not even going to say college, best football games I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. I mean, and hey, for all the pontificating of the SEC, they're left out for the third straight year for playing for a title. I love it. ACC got nothing but shade, and here they are playing for national titles. So it's great.
Right, and it looked like Miami was going to kick their butt, but then Ole Miss hung in there, and
they did.
I really feel bad for Ole Miss fans. They've had a lot to deal with here down the stretch, and all I can think is Lane Kiffin, a guy who said he thought he had a better chance to win a championship at LSU. And while that may be true, here they are on the doorstep, and maybe if there hadn't been such turmoil in their leadership here the last month or so, they'd be headed off to the national championship game. And, I just feel terrible if Lane has to spend the rest of his life thinking about that.
No, you're right. I mean, yeah, think about that. The whole offensive staff that stayed, kudos to them. But the whole time they're there, they're also trying to recruit out of the portal for their new destination while you're trying to prepare for the national semifinal, man. It's
They
tough.
have got to fix the calendar there. I mean, I haven't spent time thinking about it because, the Radford football schedule doesn't really affect us so much.
No.
But yeah, they've got to separate this time frame from the end of the season, the portal and the bowl games and all that. It's just kind of ridiculous. But who knows when sanity's ever going to be. One more football related thing on my Southern. You guys remember? Have you ever seen these QT gas stations down here with the real tall,
oh yeah, we try to love QTs. Yeah.
What does that make you think of? Anything in particular, Rick Watson?
The QT. Do you mean the logo itself?
Well, I'm just going to flip over all the cards because this is obscure. Do you remember the Sports Illustrated football game Pay Dirt?
Yeah.
I had the one with Charlie Haraway on the front.
Do remember that.
Cliff Harris closing in for the tackle in the weird lighting in Texas Stadium.
Yeah.
They took the logos off the helmets, so it was,
yeah, that's right, because licensing. Yeah.
Right. It made it seem even weirder. Well, when you played that game, you rolled the dice and then you looked at the sheet for the team you were playing. Then it was so small. It was about the size of this, my book, the Book of Mike, that I carry with me. It was about that size, and there were abbreviations for different things, and the sacks. If your quarterback got sacked, it came up QT in bold black letters. So every time I drive by one of those places, I think of my quarterback getting sacked, or and a football game I played when I was like 12 years old. But that game was great. That game was really great, and actually I used it. The clock they had for that game by Sports Illustrated, so you'd expect this, was the clock I used instead of any other clock in any other game. When I timed anything as a football game, I forget your timing system. This is the best because it had plays were all 30 seconds and or 15 depending on if you went out of bounds, and you could get it down to the second like we do in football, which is of course again one of the problems with soccer is because at the end of the game nobody knows how much time's left, and we can't live like that in America.
I know, right? It makes no sense. Soccer makes no sense with its timing. You can't. There's no validating what they do with extra time and so. There's no validation to it whatsoever.
Of a second. Oh, by the way, I did have a visual aid too, if you needed to hear from my trek. That's probably.
Oh wow! Look at that.
It started in Delaware and went all the way down here, and this was pretty much just going south, which was, just makes me happy, even going this far south. But there's nothing that makes me happier than getting on the interstate and heading south from where I live now, because that means
100%. Yes, anytime you can go south. Yeah. Well, that was great, man. I appreciate you sharing your journey. That was cool. I felt like we were there at every place, at every stop. That was great.
Well, most of the stuff I couldn't tell you. I have a funny story about how I heard about, Harbaugh getting fired, but I think I'll save that for a future day.
Save that for a few. Okay.
Also, I do have it from a reputable source that Mike McDonald was going to step down from the Dolphins before he got fired anyway, because he wanted to spend more time with his nerds.
How long are you in Texas?
I'm coming back Tuesday, and then I head off on vacation. Actually, we're flying to Puerto Rico, so we'll have to talk about my future appearances when the next one can be.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right.
I'll be poolside with the book. So then, and I'll be very happy. I've earned
Absolutely.
it. I've earned it. Damn it.
You have earned it. Damn it. Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
I have a friend that says I should go in the in-law Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you should. You should actually. You should.
We'll see.
All right.
All right.
Well, be
hey,
safe.
Talking about Goober says, adios or something.
Adios to Goober. Be safe. Thanks, my friend. Be good. Mike Ashley. That was great. Didn't we actually just kind of feel like we were at every stop that he made there? That was pretty cool. Now he's going to Puerto Rico. I love the way he's in Texas on a trip, and now he's going on vacation after his trip. It's great. It's great. It's great. Fun times. It's been a fun morning. Thanks to all of our sponsors, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, the NRV Super Bowl, Top Shelf Apparel, Harvey's GM, the Ready Set Fund, ReadySetFund.com. Go make some money. It's they make it easy. Professional Door Incorporated. So good that they have regional and national contracts. Commercial garage doors, residential garage doors, 38 years. Travis, sponsor of Text Line, National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of this program. Yeah, Jen the Gamecock Girl is, people hit me up already on the text line. Yeah, she's supposed to play Careless Whisper today on her saxophone. You don't want to miss it. If she doesn't, well, Ryan Pryor, the attorney, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. Little River Heating and Air. Charles Lee's the best at what he does, 540-553-2971. You can trust all the great people at Little River Heating and Air. Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program, couldn't do it without them. And boy, oh boy, Pulaski County is so great that they brought Jonathan Sweet and Tim Miller in. And I'll tell you what, so grateful they should be. Thanks to Louise Baker. Family Fencing, sponsor of our studio, 540-200-8294. Thanks to Jason Green and all those folks. And McClellan Chiropractic. I'm going to see Mark today, only to deliver a T-shirt to him, because I'll be over there. Sponsor of our chat room. Where is Apollo? Where is Balboa? I have no idea. I have no idea. I think he came back in before the show. Yeah, he's not down here. Yeah, I don't know. He's sacked out somewhere. Yeah. I'm not sure coaches with dignity would have handled this coaching change like Lane. No, I'm with you, Prometheus. Wayne says, I hate traveling. 3 hours driving is my limit. Now, it's interesting. We had a different variation of Mike's cattle game. Growing up on a farm, you know all the different breeds. So what we would do was keep count of the different breeds that we would see as we drove by. Whether you were talking about Angus, whether you're talking about Herefords, whether you were talking about Charolais or Guernseys or Red Roans or Blue Roans or Black Baldies, which are the black cattle with the white faces. And we would try to keep which breed of cattle won. Usually it was Angus. So we had kind of a similar thing, my brother and I, when we would travel. Yeah, we used to do the license plate game. You can't do that anymore because every state has like 72 license plates. And the cool thing about the license plates then, you didn't have all that. And seeing the different license plates were exciting, right? You had the Virginia. We've always had the boring white and just blue. Now you don't. You have all these choices. But when they realized they could make more money off of it, of course they gave you options. But you'd see like a yellow license plate or a green license plate. You couldn't wait. Oh, get up there closer. Who knew Rick was bilingual? Cows are different. Yeah, and it's cattle. Let's be educated. They're not cows. Cows are on a dairy farm. They're cattle. Cows distinctively are mothers. When you're driving by these fields, you're not seeing cows. You're seeing some that are cows, the ones with young. Those are technically cows. But when you drive by an Angus field and you see that big boy with the hunched neck and he's standing there at the fence, that's a bull. That's an Angus bull. He's not a cow. And if you call him a cow, he's going to kick your ass. So you're playing the cattle game. We played vacation bingo. Oh, that's cool, TLB. Yeah, Angus usually won. Herefords, people are like, I'm getting on the text line. Herefords are the red and white ones. That's true. A lot of people didn't grow up on the farm, right? So if you're out in the field and you see a red with the white face, those are Herefords. Yeah, I had to be a cattle enthusiast, Brandon, growing up on the farm, yes. TLB says, what the cow identifies as a bull. That won't last long in the cattle field. They'll filter that out pretty quickly. So once you get married, you are a steer. No. Steer is, well, I mean, I guess you can choose to be a steer. But going out where I live in Reiner, going out Fairview Church, there's some great farms. There's one that really reminds me of the one I grew up on. But once you get down, before you get to the turnoff on Cherry Creek, there's a big bull that just stands at the fence. And I always slow down. If there's nobody behind me, I'll stop and talk to him. I know. I've got some pictures of him. Ooh, wait a minute. I wonder if I can show you the picture of him. And, yeah, here he was when we had snow. There he is. Can y'all see him? See that big boy? That's my guy right there. He reminds me when we had one called Sam when I was growing up. But he stands at the fence because he won. There's your alpha. And that sure as hell ain't no cow. Prometheus says, I would pay to sit down with Coach Elmo and watch. Yeah, wouldn't you? Wouldn't that be great? Get him unfiltered. You talk about turning the volume down. You don't need any volume with Coach Elmo. Yeah, I'm with you, man. How great would that be? That's awesome. Am I familiar with, what is it? Gulfy cattle? May not be spelling it correct. I don't know. No, I don't know what that is, TLB. We learned, More says we learned what transitioning was early on the farm. Nut cutting time. Yeah, if you're a steer, let's just say it the way it is. You no longer have your balls. So I hope that when you get married, that doesn't happen because you're not going to be married too long. I think you become more of a dedicated bull. Oh, my goodness. I don't want to call the significant other a cow, though, or a heifer. You realize the female non-impregnated version of a female cattle is a heifer. We have used heifer in terms of people who may not have the proper body type or a heavier body type. So I don't want to. But if you are married and you have to become a steer, then you married the wrong cow. You married the wrong heifer if all of a sudden you have to become a steer when you're married. Charolais on the professional door text line. They are the white ones that you see out in the field. I guess I should bring a Charolais. They're always a little wilder when you had them bunched in with the mixture of your flock. Yeah. You heifer, you. I know. I'm sorry. Herefords are red, Angus the black. You always see it. Don't fall for it. When you're in the meat store, when you're looking for your meat in the meat department, Angus beef, it just tastes better. Yeah, it's very good, but there's not a whole lot of difference. I grew up eating it all. Let me just tell you. As long as it's prepared correctly, there's not a whole lot of difference. Grass-fed beef. Okay. This conversation is way different than I mentioned. Turned way different. So you're all black cattle are the Angus. The red ones with the white face are Herefords. The white ones are Charolais. Guernseys are the browns, the tans. Charolais can be tan. So when you're looking at a Guernsey, they got to have a kind of a darker back, and their neck, they kind of have the turkey neck. Those are the Guernseys. Black Baldies are the black ones with the white face. I don't know what the technical term is, but Dad called them that because it looked like they were bald with the white face. Red Roan. Now we're getting a little bit more specific now. RONE, not unlike Matt Roan, the director of athletics at James Madison. They're red, that dark red like a Hereford, but you'll see around the mid hindquarters in the back, they start to break into a gray with some spotting. Red Roan, blue Roan. Those are black cattle who have the same pattern developing as a specific breed. Blue Roan, red Roan. Sorry, I don't know how we got into this. Check out my column today in the Patriot, by the way, thanks to Mike Williams. Oh, we do have it. Here we go. So here is a red roan. This one's more white than I thought, but you see how that one kind of does that? There you go. I'm just trying to help you for your next long road trip. We're waiting on Jen, the Gamecock Girl, to join us here. And, these are great examples. Here's your blue roan. Let me hang on. I know people are like, we really don't give a damn. Well, yeah, we do. You're asking questions. Here's kind of your blue roan right there. Yeah. We had all those bad boys. We did. You think that Mike Ashley will put his mother-in-law on top of the car like Clark did? No, I don't think so. I don't believe that will happen. Thank you, by the way, people on chat. Yeah, taking the boy back to Wise here in just a little bit later on this morning. Proud of him. All A's, except for an 88.5 that he's pissed about because he didn't get straight A's his first semester. But he's been upstairs playing the piano, and he's like, wow. He's gotten, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right. Thanks to Coach Elmo. Thanks to Mike Ashley. And there she is. What's up, Jen?
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. I stayed up a little bit too late watching football, but otherwise I'm good.
You're wearing your hair again the way I like.
Do you really like this?
I really do. No, I do.
Okay. All right. It's the easiest way. No fixing. Blow dry, done.
That's all you need. I mean, when you've got all the other elements already, like when you get the 5-star recruit, you don't need to worry about it. But no, it looks good. It's good luck for you.
Thank you. That's very sweet, but 5-star, maybe not so much.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a younger demographic. I don't know. There's something for everybody out there, I guess.
Okay, first of all, how has your search gone for your new mouthpiece?
It's I don't know if you want to geek out this hard about it. But
no, I think people are bought in now. People are expecting the saxophone today, so I'm trying to prepare
I don't
them.
have it. Okay, let's start there. I don't have it ready because I'm still in this mouthpiece.
Oh, here we go.
This
You're
is
gonna
really
get yelled
important.
at today. I
This
know.
is super important.
Okay, so where are we on? There is that qualification, right?
I need to have my stuff back and my groove back and feel good about the universe that my sax is in before you're going to get any playing. I'm going to say that.
Have you had any luck locating the mouthpiece that got shattered?
So I haven't been able to find the exact model that mine was, but I've been able to find some cousins to that model. And I've been in touch with numerous saxophone collectors, all of which are old men who hoard just like tons and tons of good equipment and can't possibly play it all. So a lot of it is convincing them that I'm worthy of releasing something from their inventory for. So I'm in that mode right now. And I've got a few leads lined up. Saturday, I'm going to go try a mouthpiece that is a close cousin of mine here in Columbia from a former military band saxophonist. And he's a great musician. I know him personally, and he's going to let me try his. So that's the most promising one, probably. And then there's a collector in Florida who actually you will not realize that this happens in the world. But anyway, he's a mouthpiece tech. So he just works on saxophone mouthpieces for joy. And he is willing to take one of the cousins and modify it and carve it to make it like mine. That was similar with the dimensions inside of it. So, that's worth an experiment too. I don't know how many hundreds of dollars that's going to cost me, but those are two good leads. And I just talked with another guy last night. He's out in Oregon and he's got another cousin and he's willing to send it to me for money and let me try that one too. So I got a few leads going. We're going to see.
Well, will you send an official apology to chat because they were all excited today for you.
I can't see to type in the chat right now. Apologies to everybody for having to wait, but it'll be worth it for my sanity and my good juju. I'm not going to be myself musically until I get this resolved. It's a big thing.
I understand you want to be at your peak level for this prime. I do appreciate that you want your performance to be at peak level.
I want to represent Christiansburg High School. I want to represent USC. And I'm a little bit worried about the sound dynamics in the condo. So, we'll just have to, we might have to do a test or something. I might have to get you to come on another time and do a little test before we go live with it. Make sure it's
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that. We can do that. All right. So no saxophone today, peeps. Sorry. Any criticisms you can levy at her. Yes, she deserves it. Yeah. Where else can you learn so much about cattle and saxophone mouthpieces?
I'm sorry. I told you. I warned you it was going to be real.
Well, people should subscribe to the channel. Right.
So, it's just important to us. And then some of my other sax friends have been like, okay, this is your sign to the world. Maybe try some modern equipment that is now being manufactured and find something you love from the current inventory out there. So I'm going to try that too and see if I can find some new stuff.
Brandon says no saxophone performance equals another bad season of Gamecocks football. Ooh,
oh, gosh. Please don't jinx it any more than it's already been jinxed. Although we are recruiting the heck out of the transfer portal. Are you watching that?
No, recruiting. No, you're buying players. Let's just say.
Okay, whatever you want to call it, it's working.
Saxless whisper, Wayne says saxless whisper.
Sorry. Just go listen to the original recording.
No, I haven't paid any attention to it. I don't pay a lot of attention to it nowadays. But yeah, so a lot of money. What are you getting? What's so exciting about you? Who you getting? I know you have to spend money on a quarterback because you're already wasting money on a quarterback.
Oh, shucks.
Sorry. Who you getting?
We're replenishing the O-line. I don't know if you saw, most of our O-line departed. and is headed for other opportunity, which is okay. And so we're doing really well there. I just saw one of the top players in defense from NC State signed with us last night. So, I mean, we're getting a lot of good. I'm back in fully and maybe foolishly back in with optimism and ready for the season ahead. Let's go.
Morris says Sax and the SEC each 0 for 5 now combined.
Oh, gosh. That's pretty good, actually. So
that's good.
Yeah. We're real fun at parties, though. I mean, SEC parties are good. Come on down. We always get a good party.
So your mighty SEC, let's just get rid of the myth, right? The portal and all the madness with pay for play. It's evened out the playing field. Third straight year, Jen, that the mighty SEC doesn't get to play for a national championship.
Are you expecting me to defend SEC or like?
Yeah, I'm figuring you would. I figured you'd just be all over it. You're no longer an elite league against everybody else. Huh?
Well,
yeah.
But culturally, is that where everybody wants to be?
I don't know, but the measure is the games, the results of the games, and we were told
is it the only measure?
Yeah, I think it should be.
I think it's a little, I mean, winning, as you know, I love winning. I don't always get to see a whole lot of that, but I think it's a bigger cultural phenomenon than just the winning. And I think there's a reason why people even care about SEC football and enjoy us when we're down, enjoy taunting us.
Yeah, because they get all the promotion. They get all the ESPN money. They get all this stuff. They're in bed with ESPN, and we're told that everybody is so inferior.
Well,
that's not the case any longer.
It's not the case in terms of the product, but it's maybe the case in terms of the cultural experience. Would you agree with that?
I can't say I can't say that because I mean, the culture I get is more out of the ACC because that's what I follow more closely. I'm not in those towns and things like that. I know we're told of the culture. And look, I'm not talking about individual talent. I know you're going to supply the NFL with more draft picks than any other league. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're far and away better than everybody else because of this culture, you should be winning national championships. And you're not even playing for national championships.
I don't know that I'm saying that we're better than everybody else because of the culture. I'm just saying it's a desirable situation and people want to be in it. There's a reason why people follow SEC football, even in a down year. There's a reason why the entire Northeast part of the country, all the students graduating high school want to come down south and be part of the SEC. It's a cultural thing.
Yeah, but I don't think any SEC fan base wants to win any more than Virginia Tech's fan base. Right?
Well, that's probably true.
I hear from, that's why they've made James Franklin into this. They want to build him a statue before he's coached his first game because
it is true.
It's been so bad for 7 years. So I don't know. But I'm just saying.
I would say some of it extends beyond football and it's institutional, right? Like it's the big Greek life, it's the warm weather, it's a quality of life thing. I think that people are attracted to with these SEC schools. I just think it's turned into more, for better, for worse, it's turned into more than just who's winning.
It's turned into television revenue. That's what it's turned into.
That's fair. That is fair. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's why ESPN loves. Prometheus said that's why ESPN loves them so much. Alabama was the most watched team in the country, so therefore they got a spot in the playoff. They didn't deserve a playoff on the field.
Well, that's probably true too.
Right.
I'm not going to argue with that. But just the TV numbers, like you said, it seems to be justified financially.
Well, I mean, that's why they're promoted so heavily. Now, I don't know how many people are watching because they root against the SEC. Like last night, I think a lot of people jumped on Miami's bandwagon just because they were playing an SEC team. I don't know that for sure. It's been Georgia for sure or Alabama for sure. But, that Ole Miss team beat Georgia. So there you go. But
Well, I'm going to
ACC?
point out the best marching bands in the country. A lot of them are in the SEC too. There are a lot of other reasons to love the SEC because I've been band geeking out hard talking about mouthpiece construction. Seems like a tie in there, but there is a lot too why the SEC is really fun to support. And yes, it's been a down year in the last, would you say 3 years? Right?
It's the third straight year that we will not be an SEC team playing for the national title. Correct.
It'll be interesting to see now all this discussion of parity. It'll be fascinating to see how that affects what happens coming up in another year. I mean, things are changing so rapidly.
Well, and the real equalizer has been the money is no longer. There's not that big discrepancy in money available that used to be. Everybody else is now getting there.
Mm-hmm.
With the Fox contract, with the NBC. I mean, look at Mark Cuban. Did you see you saw what he did?
I did. I was getting ready to bring him up actually as an example of just one person being a game changer. Of course, a very wealthy person, but can make a big difference.
I mean, how about that? Kirk Cignetti wakes up the next morning and, oh, look, we've got $30 million more in our NIL banking account. And that's all it takes now. It's nuts what's going on, but that's been the biggest equalizer, I think. And the portal, it is about money. It's about that's what's done it. It's this kids moving around, leaving SEC school or going to different SEC schools,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what has brought all this about. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you one thing I personally really love about the portal. I know it's got all what you're saying. It's not wrong. And there is negative in the portal. But what's positive to me is a student who's at a program and is not being properly developed and maybe just didn't get the right coach, the right fit. They can have new life in a transfer. And I personally really like that a lot. I think that's exciting. I mean, even in my work that I do with student musicians in our field.
You got a big band portal class coming up.
Well, if it's now, of course, this is very different. But if we signed someone, recruited someone, and they weren't with the right fit with their instructor and the program, and they weren't growing the right way, I would be like, I support you leaving. Like, let's find a better program for you elsewhere. And that is happening a lot. I feel like, sometimes students are recruited and promised all these great things and playing time that they don't get, and now they're not trapped anymore.
Jen Jablonski, the director of the School of Music at South Carolina, understands she's very excited about the new trombonist coming out of the portal next week. They've been negotiating for a while. They got an eye on a tuba player from Tupelo, Mississippi.
This is actually not that far off from what happened. And I am really that excited about it. I know that's a shocker for anybody who knows me at all that I'd be that revved up, but we don't live a normal life doing what we do.
You start doing press conferences. You start doing press conferences after you get your portal kids.
I started doing, those official signing day things with our musicians to emulate what's happening with sports. So why not a press conference? I do that too. If anybody would watch it, I would totally do it.
You know how they've been showing these guys re-signing with their schools, new contracts, going back to their schools. Mm-hmm. They're showing your kids showing up, holding up a new saxophone.
Well, if we had the money, we don't have to abide by NCAA rules. So if we had the money, I could buy all kinds of stuff for people, but I just don't have any money.
TLB says that the trombone player would have a mouthpiece.
Oh, dang. We're getting some daggers today. And
I told you they were going to be hostile if you weren't ready today. I told you. So, yeah, they're a little hostile. But it's good. Shows how in demand you are, Jen.
I don't know. No, I just need a new mouthpiece. Somebody help me resolve this.
But you're closer is what you tell me. You're getting closer.
I'm getting closer. I have probably, you're going to laugh at this too, maybe 15 other mouthpieces, but they're not the same. It's not the same.
Well, I hope that works out. Are you over the emotional part? Is that got
no.
helped you? No.
Yeah.
But in some ways it's symbolic, right? When that unexpectedly shattered, it's kind of like each and every year when you go into a new South Carolina football season with all of these hopes and expectations, and how quickly they get shattered by the complete ineptitude of Shane Beamer. So it's kind of similar.
Oh no, you had to bring up Beamer like that. You are such a hater. I just feel like
just a joke. It's just a fun little.
I'm made to be an optimist. That's how I'm made, for better, for worse. I'll sign up for more every year. I'll sign up for hope that I'll find my mouthpiece again after playing on it 30 plus years.
How quickly will he get fired if you guys are 4-6 going into the final 2 games, or 3-7? You won't be, because your schedule's pretty weak. But
I don't think he would make it that far if it's not going well.
Because you're non-conference, you're playing a couple of community colleges. I saw that. Yeah, and there's a European team going to make the flight over.
I think the expectations are going to be as such that if it did turn into that kind of year, I don't think he would make it through the season.
Well, he's created his expectation, but you're not going to have the national expectation. You're not going to have a higher expectation than being the preseason number 13 team as you were going into 2025. Oops.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize, I was listening to some sports podcasts yesterday, and I was thinking about expectations for schools like us, mid-tier kind of programs. And I just was thinking about it, and I was thinking, every time we have any kind of measure of success, it seems to be followed by a big letdown. And I'm just thinking about the consistency required to maintain a product, a great product, year after year, and how difficult that is, and thinking about responding to failure versus responding to success. And I just don't think we respond well to success at all. And when we do have little tastes of it, it's usually followed by a plummeting experience. So, I think that's the difference maker in programs that can rise above it. Like with Indiana, that'll be cool to see next year what they do, how they handle success. Now, with my new boyfriend, Kurt, leading.
You have no doubt. You guys are talking a lot now. He's going to take care of it.
Yeah, he's going to take care of business. He doesn't care. So, I have more faith in him, but I think it does get more difficult to manage when it's changing so rapidly. And like you said, the financial aspect is so huge. And I think, there's a tendency for coaches to coast a little bit when you taste some success when you haven't had it. And then, that's not going to fly in today's environment.
It's kind of the way we feel like about you when you're not able to join us. When you had Jen and you don't get her, there's nothing else that's going to fill that gap.
But I'm pretty much here every week.
You are.
Like, I could have said, "Oh, I can't do the show this week because I knew I did not have my sax game ready."
I know.
And that would have saved me from some of this taunting, probably not all of it.
And I didn't know. I had not heard. I was not going to reach out. I wanted to be surprised. So I just let people know. Jen did not tell me ahead of time she was not going to be able to play today. So
I didn't. Would you have preferred that I did?
I don't know. I like the mystery of you, Jen. That's been part of the reason this relationship has worked for so long. All right, let's do a quick rundown here. Well, this will be revisited in August. Let's see if Shane keeps his job. Kent State, 1-0. Towson, really? Towson? 2-0. Ooh, Mississippi State coming to Columbia. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Home game, 3-0. You're going to lose at Alabama, 3-1. Kentucky, with no longer your former beau, Mark Stoops, 4-1. I think you lose at Florida, 4-2. Tennessee. Ooh, it's in Columbia. How many home games do y'all have? 7, 8?
As many as possible. Please help.
I feel like Tennessee's going to be a loss.
Tennessee's good, but they had some struggles this year. I mean, not as many as we did, but
Oklahoma, there's a loss. Texas A&M, that's going to be a loss. There's 4 at least, not even counting Tennessee. At Arkansas.
We got to beat Arkansas.
You think?
We got to.
You're going to lose to Georgia.
Is Taylor Green coming back?
There's 5.
I don't know.
I don't know. Ooh, and then at Clemson. I mean,
we've won at Clemson the last 2 times. We've lost the last 2 times at home. So
yeah. That could be 6 losses. 6 and 6 is not going to do it. And that's not even counting. That's giving you the Tennessee game. Okay, we'll see. He's got a guaranteed playoff berth.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's what's confusing to me as a fan is when we can overachieve and have such wonderful years. And then, like I said, the following year, it's a crash and burn.
All right, so I need a favor, Jen. So we're going to be hit here soon with pushing us harder and harder for 1,000 subs. So I need you to start spreading the word down your way and showing people, hey, I'm on this. Get your students. Young people love to subscribe to things. You need to.
With the bashing of Coach Beamer and our football team, do you think my people are going to be like, yeah, let me in. I want to hear all that. Do you think
if they're an honest fan base, they're going to want to weigh the positives and the negatives.
I don't know that the Gamecock fans are really going to be excited to hear that. I'm just saying.
How many wins, Preetha's asked, do you think, Jen, how many do you think Shane needs to keep his job? How many wins?
I think maybe 7.
You think 7 and 5 he'll stay?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty low expectation for a guy who says we're going to be in the playoff.
Well, if I were his PR manager, I'd say, please don't say that anymore. Because I don't think that's a smart strategy to set that up as the expectation. I would have advised him to say a return to a bowl was a good expectation.
Yeah, but the bowls are so inconsequential now.
Agreed, but I think you have to have some kind of benchmark and some kind of metric, and that seems like a more reasonable one in terms of trying to find success.
TLB says Jen owes me now. Yeah, but she's already paid me back for some travel aid I'm getting at the end of the month, so I can't be too mean against her.
Like travel aid.
That's the way I look at it. You're giving me some lodging aid. How's that? Some stop off aid.
That'll do you some good to be surrounded in the Gamecock goodness around me.
Yeah, maybe that'll help me a little bit. Yeah,
maybe infiltrate again. It's been a while since you've been here. You were surrounded in it before. You slept in Gamecock colored sheets. Gamecock garnet.
I did.
You were surrounded in it. The helmets, you can see them behind me. All of it. You need
rooster
more
feathers everywhere. I mean, it was really a mess.
You need to infuse it into your existence.
I was fine until I woke up like at 4 a.m. and Cocky had snuck in there and scared the hell out of me and crawled into bed with me. I'm like, wow!
Everyone should spoon Cocky. He's real snuggly. He's warm. Yeah. Snuggly.
Not expecting to see that.
You need more of that.
Yeah, I know, right? So are you traveling anywhere? Any soon?
I am. Next week, when you talk to me, I'm going to be in New York City.
Ooh,
because
Big Apple girl.
Our jazz program is has been identified as one of the top 10 jazz programs in the nation with our.
Well, of course. Congratulations.
Thanks. I'm really excited. We're doing a competition at Lincoln Center, and it's the top 10 jazz programs across the nation competing. And I'm very proud of our group for being there. It's called Left Bank Big Band. It's our top big jazz ensemble. And I'm an alum of that group and played with it my entire time at Carolina. And so I'm going to support them. And that's our first time being invited. It's a huge, huge thing for our program.
Well,
so while our football team maybe is underachieving, we are killing it.
Well, of course, because you're the head coach. I don't doubt it at all.
Oh, I'm not the head coach. The jazz faculty here are fantastic. Matt White is our program director. So I got to give him his props for leading us there. He's been at Carolina. I think this is his 5th year, similar to Beamer.
Except actually, Mark White's getting actual results.
Matt White.
Matt White, sorry.
Well, I mean, like I said, we've had a few good years with Beamer. We've had a few bad years.
Yeah, quite a few. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens coming up here in 2026. And thank you for coming on. And again, so let's get it out right now. So is it next week you won't be able to play either because you're traveling?
No, oh, yes, you're right. I will not be able to because I'll be in a hotel in New York City.
You can't take your saxophone, yeah?
While I'm up there, I'll be able to do some mouthpiece shopping and try some mouthpieces and stuff. So that'll be really good. So I hope this will be resolved soon because it's making me anxious and I need to get it taken care of.
It's made our audience anxious, you know?
I didn't know people would be so excited about Careless Whisper. I never.
Well, they're excited about you. They want to hear you. That's what it is. You're the one they want to hear from. It could be Careless Whisper. It could be a John Coltrane, whomever it is. It doesn't matter. As long as it's you're doing it, that's what matters.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very sweet. And I hope the situation will be in a better place very soon. But yes, I will not be able to play next week. Let's set that up now because I'll be up there in New York.
But in 2 weeks, wait a minute. 2 weeks, I'll be on the road.
Oh,
I'll be at your place.
That would be kind of fun if you're here. What about that?
23rd. Are you in town on January 23rd? I don't come your way until the next week.
Well, should we wait until you're here is my question, and we could do it.
I don't know if I'll be doing the show on that Friday. I don't know if I can do the show like that. I got to look. I'll tell you.
You can't do things because of the dynamic, and that's okay. But when I can't do it, thumbs down. I'm a loser. Correct. Is that right?
Yes. Okay. And a double standard. Absolutely 100%. Okay.
And you can't possibly do things on the road.
Correct. Well, listen, you stay safe.
Wait, why can't you do it on the road?
Well, I can. I just don't know if we can do it the road. I'll have an answer before I get down there. Okay.
I think if we can do it together somehow, that would be more fun because you'll be here to interact with me and.
Oh yeah. Oh, what about the saxophone? Yeah.
We'll have some shenanigans.
All right, I'll figure all that out. Let me figure all that out.
All right.
Well, be good. Enjoy the game tonight. Who you got? Indiana? Oh, stupid. I'm sorry. Your boyfriend. You're going with Sigs. Why did I even say that?
By the way, before you try to cut this off, our bowl game picks in ESPN.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I had Indiana winning it all.
Congrats. Did you? That's right. You're still there. Are you still first?
No, I'm tied for second. I can't remember who's in first.
Can you still win it if Indiana wins it all?
I think yes. I've got to make sure. I think
yes. Okay. All right.
But I just want to point that out because I noticed your name was not near the top of the heap.
No. I had I had a very bad bowl selection season. I did.
You're talking all this smack about the SEC being down, but are you down too?
I think it was more lack of care of the bowls than anything else.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. All right. Well, be a good girl, and we'll see you next week from the Big Apple.
Sounds good. Thank you. And I'm sorry about the sax thing, but we'll get it taken care of.
We'll get it taken care of. We will.
Go Cock. Right.
Safe travels. We'll see you next week. Be good. There she is. Jen the Gamecock Girl. We love Jen the Gamecock Girl. All right, we're done. We love you. Please like, subscribe, and share. All those things. And enjoy the game tonight. Go Hoosiers. NFL playoffs tomorrow and Sunday. Everybody enjoy. Lots of games going on. Lots of stuff going on. So everyone enjoy. My son is texting me. All right. Everybody take care here. I'm heading to Wise here just a little bit. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you. Please spread the word about the show. We need subscribers. Love you all. Thanks to our sponsors. Be good, be proud, and we will see you next week. Enjoy your week.